Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm here to show you how to make this card. This is a really fun card. It's kind of, not too elaborate on the outside, but when you open it up, it is awesome. It's sculpted, so you have a great card that could sit in somebody's office desk or on their mantle, and it just shows a wonderful little Christmas scene out the window. So let me show you how easy this one is to do. So to begin with, I took a 12 by 12 sheet of our Whisper White cardstock, and I actually cut this down to 5.5 by 12, and I'm going to put this into my scoring, my Simply Score tool, and I'm going to score it, and I'm going to score it at 4, 7.5, 8, and 11.5. And I will list all these measurements and all the supplies that I use today on my website if you want to click and visit that so that you can get the instructions for doing this. But it's actually just 4, 7.5, 8.5, and 11.5. Super easy to do. And this is going to be your card. And so to begin with, you're just going to fold on those score lines. That you've made. And just remember that this is actually going to be the inside of your card, this section here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, and I'm using Designer Series paper, and I'm actually using the pack called Season of Cheer. This is a great little pack of paper. It comes with lots of different, or 12 different designs, double-sided. Some looks very Christmassy, some does not look so Christmassy, so it can be used year-round. But I'm going to start with a couple of pieces for the inside of my card, and these actually measure 3.5 by 5.5, and then I have a piece for the outside of my card that's 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And so I'm going to take one of these pieces, and somewhere I have snail, a little bit of snail adhesive. And I'm going to add this right in between those score lines on that piece of cardstock. It should fit fairly snug. Sometimes I get it cut just a little bit off, and I might have to trim a little bit. And put that on there. That looks good. So that's going to be my wall of my card. Once I've done that, I'm going to come in. I'm going to use today the stamp set Happy Scenes with the matching framelits for the window. And then I'm also using our square framelits. And I'm actually going to pull out, I think it's a 2.5-inch square out of that. And I'm going to cut a hole right through that cardstock with this square framelit. So I'll be right back. I'm going to run this through the Big Shot. And once I've got that cut, I'll come back in here, and I'm just going to pull those pieces out. And then I've got an opening for my window. So there's the beginning of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my window frame and my windowsill, and I'm going to use some Night of Navy cardstock. So I just have a scrap piece here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut these two pieces and run those through the Big Shot. Okay, so here are my two pieces for the window and then the windowsill. And so those are ready to go. And then I'm going to come in with a piece of shimmery white cardstock. And this happens to be 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and this is the one we're going to stamp on and do a little watercoloring with. And so I'm going to come in with the pine trees from the Happy Scenes stamp set, which comes with lots of great stamps. And I'm going to use our Archival Black ink. I'm going to ink up that stamp and stamp it down. And then I am going to come in with an aqua painter and a little soft sky. I pulled the soft sky color right from the Designer Series paper. And my aqua painter, which is a great little watercoloring tool, has water down here. But you just want to make sure that to get that going, so it starts a continuous flow of water. And then I'm just going to brush up along the horizon here and make my horizon have a little blue sky. And again, because it's watercolor, it doesn't have to be perfect. So you're just going to put a little color behind it. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a little Mossy Meadow marker. Are great. This is one of our in colors, so it comes as a set of five of the in colors, but this is Mossy Meadow. It has a fine tip on one end and a brush tip on the other. I'm actually going to use the fine tip today, and I am just going to add just a little bit of green color to this tree. Just kind of adding just a little color where the branches are. That just adds a little bit of color to them. Now, we're going to put this card together and you'll see how easy it is. So I'm going to bring back my base piece. This piece of shimmery cardstock is going to go right to the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hold my card kind of like I want it, and then I'm going to slide my scene to the back, kind of just so I know where it's going to come out at that window. Okay, and then I'm going to take my window and a couple of dimensionals, which of course were just laying here, and now I can't find them. That's because I was stepping on them. So these are the dimensionals, and I'm actually going to just add a dimensional to the top and the bottom of my window. Pull those off. And the window does have a back and a front. If you'll see, if I can get this close enough, you'll see that it has little ridges around it, the frame and stuff. And then this window is just going to get taped right over the top of that opening. And then the windowsill gets put on. And on this one I actually do put the windowsill on because that 2.5-inch square that we used to cut that opening actually leaves just a little bit of a line down here. And this windowsill can be used to cover that up. Once you've got that done, then you're going to take your tear and tape and you're going to line it up along the edge of that flap, and I line it up so it's close to the top, and you're going to pull off the tear and tape, fold this over, fold this up, bring this down, and then attach it. And once you've got it where it needs to be, then you can, close your card all the way. And that's how you do the window that opens so that it has a scene. I learned this technique from Jill Olsen while I was down at Founders Circle, and I just think it's awesome. But I'm going to finish out the card. So I'm going to take this other piece of Designer Series paper, and this one I actually cut to fit right up to this side so that it looked like a wall of someone's home or something. Now this, like I said, sometimes I get them cut just a little bit too large, and I'll just take a scissor and trim that right off. Like that. And then the front of my card, oh, I believe it was this one. Was it this one? Yeah, but I cut it wrong. Oh no, that's for the lights. I actually cut this one for the front of my card, but I'm going to cut a different one because I want my front of my card to look like this. I just like that look. And then the lights were actually on this one, and I just fussy cut out a string of lights to go right across the top of my window. So I will hurry up and get these cut and be right back. Okay, so once you have those cut, I'm just going to go ahead and with a little snail adhesive, just on the corners, or each of the ends of the lights, and I'm going to attach this string on my window. And it just really decks that out for Christmas. So there you have it. I don't know I think I might have cut this. Oh, I can do it. So I went ahead and cut this down to 4 1/4 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to add that onto the front of my card. And there you have it. And then the last thing that I did is I came in with one of the stamps from Among the Branches, this Making Spirits Bright, and I thought it would be really cool to have it in bright real red on the front of that card. And so you're just going to go ahead and ink up your stamp, and you just want to tap. You don't need to press hard, you just need to tap on there, make sure that you get it fully inked, and then stamp it onto your cardstock. And you can actually see it go across, the air bubble go across your stamp, and so that you know you've got the whole thing stamped and pressed. Watch that air bubble go across. And then when you pull it off, you'll have a great image like that. And then our 2-inch circle punch will line up perfectly with that. And you can just push that in there, punch that out, add a little snail, pop it onto the front of your card, and people think they're getting a great card, and then they open it up and they get a fabulous card. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will list all the supplies and the measurements and everything on my website, www.ddistamps.com. And while you're there, sign up for my newsletter, where I send out tips, tricks, and techniques each week using Stampin' Up! Supplies. So thanks, and I hope you have a great day.